way. Got my wife talking like a miner.
Okay, what do you guys think first? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm thinking, since you're looking for documentary, maybe we'll approach it from that standpoint and
Okay.
the ranch and how, the studies that I've done and what we've discovered out here as far as how the mining, or we feel that the mining was
Okay,
done.
that sounds good.
And we'll also, I'll show you like the difference in the rocks, the way they lay down there and things like that.
All right.
You ready for a hike?
Yep.
Okay.
I may not be a morning
You going up to
person,
the pit
but
too?
I'm learning.
The hydraulic area? See, we got every kind of mining out here except for hard rock.
Morning. Got it.
Okay,
Do we want to introduce ourselves, or
that's a good idea.
I mean,
Whenever you feel like it.
it might be good if they know who we are. Okay.
All right.
Are you going to ever ask me questions?
I will, but it's, your voice is more interesting. I can always add mine later.
That's an understatement.
I can kind of add mine later, but yeah, I think just to set it up, yeah, we're talking about the different kinds of gold. But go ahead and introduce yourself whenever you feel like it. I mean, I think that's good. I should get a close-up of your T-shirt there.
You curious as to why it's designed as such?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh.
Wait a minute, here comes the mic going back.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Anytime you'd like.
It's on?
Yeah, I'm just going to let it roll, and tape's cheap.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Margaret Jensen. I'm the owner of Jensen's Pick and Shovel Ranch, and this is John. He's one of our guides. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of the ranch and the prospecting that was done out here, along with, I'll start out by telling you the difference in the gold. This is lode gold. A lot of people aren't familiar with the difference, but the lode gold is gold that is still in the place where it was formed. If you look closely, you can see gold all through this. And quartz is one of the most commonest rocks that you will find accompanying gold, and mariposite is also, this green is the mariposite. That's also very common in this area. So over the time, this will erode, break away. You see there's a fracture in here now. But this will erode, break away. It'll tumble down the gulches and into the rivers, and it'll become smooth and washed, just like these pieces here. Now this is placer gold. Once it's removed from where it was formed, it is called placer at that time. I like to think of it as being placed in another place. So some of these nuggets were found out here, and some on claims and different places that we mine. I have probably about 11 claims that we take people to, and we like to take them to places where they can go back on their own. We show them areas on the river, and we prospected for them, And if they want, they can go back later and do their own panning and things like that. That way they don't have to keep coming back to the same place unless they want more instructions. Now this here is crystalline gold. It is obtained by this specimen here. This has quartz with gold laced all through it. And what they do is they dissolve the quartz with an acid, and then it cleans up to look like this, which is very pretty. And this is more expensive than a lot of your other gold due to the fact that it is it's more of a collector's item. It is more scarce than the gold that you find, the nuggets and stuff in the streams. This here I've saved. I was up prospecting in Hogan's one time, and I was doing some dredging. And I seen this silvery stuff in my pan, and it stayed there, so I threw it in with my gold so that I could check it out when I got home. And it turned out to be mercury on there. I just had a couple pieces, and by the next day, the mercury had covered all of the gold. So I keep it as a sample to show people, and they know then what to look for, because I've had prospectors that have been prospecting for years, and they say, "Oh, I've been throwing that stuff away."
How does the mercury get onto it?
It just coats it. The mercury will be in streams and different areas, creeks and streams.
Is mercury natural, or is it
And
something?
in some places it's natural, and in other places it's something that miners have left behind. When they were mining at one time, they used to use that to separate the gold from the black sand.
Mhm.
So,
Mercury has a clinging action.
yeah.
It tends to cling to gold, a phosphorus metal it will cling to, and the gold is that used to slip through the old sluice boxes. They would put mercury at the bottom and try to capture as much of the gold that was going through, and then later they would amalgamate the gold out of the mercury. A lot of the mercury slipped out of the sluice boxes into the streams, and so the modern day miner that goes in and pulls this mercury out, naturally he's cleaning up the streams.
Oh, okay.
And then they clean that mercury off of there by usually heating it up, and then the mercury rises, and the gold is left there in a form that's called sponge gold. Now, a good prospecting friend of mine made this for me at Christmas, and it's sponge gold, but it's formed in a little button. There's probably about 3 pennyweight in there, and there's 20 pennyweight to an ounce. So, and another form of prospecting that's becoming very, very popular is the electronic prospecting, and that's with the metal detectors. If you look at this here piece of quartz, there's really on the outside no significant signs that there is gold inside of this. There's one little speck here that you can barely see. But when it's cracked open, you'll see gold laced through here. And a metal detector will pick that up, where to the naked eye it's not visible. And they've been finding really nice nuggets and also covered gold
How
with metal
small?
detectors.
How small a piece can you get with a metal detector? Can you detect?
With mine, I can pick up a nugget probably about this size. Would be about there.
What brand do you use?
I have a White's Eagle 2, but White's also has a Gold Master out. Gold Master 2, which is
That's mine.
which is designed specifically for gold prospecting. Mine is designed with a computer, and it's designed to pick up any types of minerals. It'll tell you whether it's a quarter or a dime or a pull tab, or if it's gold, a gold ring, whatever. it tells you on the face of it what you have. So metal detecting is becoming very popular these days. And they have some very good equipment out there now. Another one that I feel is very good is the excuse me, the bug,
Fisher.
the Fisher
gold
gold
bug.
bug. So I can put this away and then we will go.
Okay,
Take
so
a
that
walk
covers pretty much the different kinds of gold that someone might be able to find.
Yeah, and the average person, when they go out to the streams and creeks, they're looking for placer gold. If you come upon gold like this that's very coarse, it doesn't necessarily have to be laced with quartz or anything, but if you find something like that in heavy gold, you work upstream to try to find where the lode is. Because when you have coarse gold, it means that it's not traveled as far, and it's not as smooth as it would be after it's been tumbled and washed.
You're very
Interesting.
close to the source if you find that kind of gold.
All right. Feel free to jump in with any other thoughts or stories, tall whoppers, whatever.
Whoppers? I don't know.
How long have you been
this
doing
countryside. I've been doing this as a hobby for 20 years, and I've had good luck and I've had bad luck. It just just depends on what day you get up and what mountain you look under.
What typically are the kinds of things you find? I mean, what on a given day? What would you consider a good day?
A good day would be a pennyweight, 2 pennyweight. That's not a bad day. It's not like the old days back in 1848 when they walked on a stream and found nuggets, yay big. Those days were gone 6 months after the gold rush started. But as a hobby, it's definitely a lot of fun. It's good for the family. Everybody gets out and does the same thing, and they can picnic and just make a good day of it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of nice people on the rivers.
Yeah. When you say a pennyweight, is that an accumulation of flake, or is it?
Accumulation of flake with an occasional nugget if you're lucky. It just depends on where the water moved that gold out of the mountain and down into the streams. During the drought, I didn't have too much good luck, but with the rains that we've come to find this year, it looks a lot better. But still, just as a hobby, I wouldn't suggest anybody quit their job and grab a pan and come on out and do it. It won't pay.
Do you feel that you're getting sort of an understanding of where to look in a river now?
Oh,
over the years?
absolutely. Sure, absolutely. From the first time I came out, I was going pretty much to the basic spots where I had read that they had found gold years ago. And from there, I picked up bits and pieces from people that were talking along the rivers, and 20 years later, I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
So you can never gain enough knowledge in this field.
Yeah. Is there anything about the contours or just the lay of the river itself that you use to help you find high probability areas for gold?
Yes, there is, and I think we'll be pointing this out a little bit later as we get along with the...
Okay, you can actually show us some
Absolutely.
examples.
Sure.
All right.
Shanghai, leave him alone.
Trying to play with him.
So you were saying the old prospectors, they use that pan for
That's-
more than one purpose?
Oh, that pan was their shaving dish. It was for them to wash with. It was used as their all-around.
Utensil.
Yeah.
For everything.
It was what they ate their beans out of, or,
Yeah.
What they smack the mule with.
no, it would have put a dent in it.
Those mules were pretty.
baby.
Those mules were pretty ornery, though.
Do you use these horses on your trips, your expeditions? Or?
I had planned to do that, but the liability insurance is so outrageous.
Yeah.
So I don't, usually we helicopter in or something. No, I'm just mainly for breeding. There's old Jack rolling in the ground over there, our mascot.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jackson, come on. Come on.
Good morning, Jack. Hi, buddy.
There you go.
Jack, you got a smile this morning? Give us a smile, Jack. Come on, Jack. How about a smile?
Now, what is he exactly?
He's a donkey.
Uh-huh.
Plain old donkey.
Or as the old timers call them, jackasses.
Is there a difference between a donkey and a mule?
Yes. Well, a mule is a cross between what, horse and,
Horse and a donkey?
yeah.
That's the way I've always looked at it.
They're bigger and they have long ears. Piles all through there. And gulches used to tailing piles along that whole gulch.
Now, what is
and
tailing
back
exactly?
Up there. Well, the tailings are the leftovers from where they were mining. After they've taken the gold and they've washed away the lighter materials, what's left there is your tailings.
Is there any opportunity there for someone to
Yes.
prospect?
I know prospectors who just prospect tailing piles because they still have a lot of gold in them. The people back then when they were mining were interested mainly in the large nuggets because the large nuggets were the laying all over. They were so free and easy to get. They weren't that interested in the flour gold. And by the way, they used to explain their findings like flour gold, rice, oatmeal, beans, walnuts. That's how they used to describe the size of their findings.
Did you scan?
This much.
I ought to just get a picture. This is so beautiful. Is this all your property?
Yeah. It's that little pond down there, the 3 acres. It just stocks with fish. And you see we put some new cedar boards on. It's starting to get weathered in. But we want to keep everything pretty much like it was. Down in here is called Wade's Flat Gulch. And there used to be a settlement known as Wade's Flat. I have not found a lot of information on it, but I keep looking, hoping that I'm going to find something so that we can kind of replica what it was like at that time.
Archaeology.
The Miwok Indians lived here, still in the 1800s. And these oak trees that are around here, they bear acorns. And the acorns were put in here and ground up. In fact, this is similar to a type of pestle that they used. And then they would just take and they would grind the acorns into their food. They would use that for cooking different things.
Which Indians were those?
The Miwok.
This area was consistent of the Miwok Indians.
And there's other grinding rocks around here. Some over in that area, some up above. And their camp was approximately out here in the middle. You can tell by the soil. The soil is very black. And what I found interesting was trying to put myself in the place of the Indians. And when you stand up there by their camp area, you can look all around, and nobody could come over these hills without you seeing them. Pretty much like you've seen in the movies. It's really interesting to see that that's the way it really was. The bigger holes were used for grinding certain things and making certain foods. And then again, I'm told that they're just worn. Some are just worn deeper from all the years of use. And there's a few more around right in here too. And pretty much stayed close to the water. And that way their children would be playing in the water and they could do this and sit with the other maidens and stuff and do their work and watch the children. Oh, I forgot.
It's probably be a good time to tell people that when they see something like this, it means keep out.
Yeah. When it's, I don't know, do we want to go through all that?
Well,
I think any place where they see a fence, or it's if they don't know what it is, and they haven't looked it up on a map to make sure that it's public land, it's private land, and they just shouldn't go there unless they get permission.
How do you tell public land from private land?
Well, there are maps put out by the forestry, and they show the forest areas, the government-owned land is shown on there. Bureau of Land Management land is on there. And, of course, if you get on some of that land, you also have to check with the county and Bureau of Land Management to see if there are claims on there. Claims are always supposed to be marked, but I've had a lot of problems with people going down and taking my markers off. So that's not always a real sure thing.
research is the answer.
Yeah.
I've done more research in 20 years than I ever did in the 15 years of school I went through. You have to research the area, and then you're sure.
Is there any place someone can go around here? Where would you first stop in to do this research?
Libraries are a real good source of research. Like she just stated, the Fish and Game Department, the Forestry Departments, they are all willing and able to help you at any time. If they have the information, they're more than glad to share it with you.
Are they located right around here?
The forestry and stuff, they have offices in all the counties.
Bureau of Land Management's another one.
So whenever people are not sure, it's best to stay off, because sometimes you get on private property and you've got disgruntled people, and most of the people up here do carry guns because of rattlesnakes and different things. And it's just not a good idea to just stop in and pan unless you're sure of the area.
So it might be advisable to get in touch with people like you who know where you can go.
We will tell people where they can go on their own and not get in trouble.
You didn't bring the key, huh?
No. We're going to have to go through the fence here. It's been a long time since I came down here. I just didn't think about it. This is not what you normally do when you see a locked gate.
No, this is not.
Right. So we just forgot the key today. Yeah.
The drifts that go into the side of a mountain, you have shafts that go straight down into the ground. You have open pit hydraulic mines. And nowadays you just have the big open pit where they're mining commercially. But a lot of the old mines are not covered. And if it is a shaft, you can just fall in there and nobody's going to find you, and there's no way out. I mean, some of them are hundreds of feet deep. And I haven't seen too many that were less than 30 feet, if that.
Yeah.
You know.
What do they look like when you're walking along?
Just an open hole.
This is an open hole
You know,
in the ground.
you have to be very careful of where you're walking, because you could be walking next to a bush and not know it's there. Come around the corner and you're already in before it's too late. And there are some holes that I've dropped rocks into and never heard the bottom of. And those are the ones that you just don't want to fall into. Any of them, for that matter.
And I'll just take a look.
Now that's a cave, and you see there is a fence around here, but a lot of these things were not fenced. Or they were fenced at one time and people have tore them down, or they've just deteriorated over the years.
I have no idea where you're going, Marge. You're leading the way today. Captain Marge.
But you know, this year, because of all of the rains, it is extremely good as far as gold. Some of the gulches that have been dry for years now have water in them. So people are uncovering nice nuggets and gold. But the thing is also that the rivers and stuff are more dangerous and treacherous. So along with the gold that people are finding, there's more dangers. This is a very pretty area down here in these gulches and now, most of this area, some of this right down in here has been mined, but just very little of it. We've taken samples up in here and have found some nice gold. But it's just very nice down in these areas. You hear the water. It's a very relaxing hobby. If you're in creeks or any place where the water's just flowing nicely. The reason I brought you down here, I wanted to show you what we ourselves have been playing around with a little bit, mining and prospecting. And it's also a very good place to show you examples of prospecting. These here rocks, as you look at these rocks, and anybody who's been doing any prospecting or mining can tell you the difference immediately that some mining has been done here. You'll see the rocks where man has placed, they're piled in any direction. These other boulders here have been washed down by strong currents. In order to move boulders this big, you know that there had to be a lot of water through here at one time. And you can tell the difference by all of the rocks that were put here by nature. For instance here, you see that big one there, and you see all of these others piled right up on top. As your water would push them in, they didn't go any further. They got stopped by these boulders that were the big ones in place there. So, and in here, any place underneath these rocks could have nice nuggets or, you know, good gold recovery. And we've done a little sampling up in here, and we have come up with some nice gold. I have to take this spot down here, and I'm not going to show John where it's at.
John's already been there.
See the little axe?
Back in '78.
You know what you do with these little things besides prospect? We've gone underneath some boulders, and he found a nugget that was big enough it wouldn't fit in those little piles that we have.
Probably be a good spot back to where we are. Down here.
I just want to make sure there isn't anything crawling around here for Mark to bump into.
Are you on? you're panning, your basic tools that I use is I always carry a little pick along and a pan, a little shovel, and a crevice tool. I also have a gold claw, which is longer and allows you to get in deeper. But I didn't bring that along because I didn't feel that we needed it for this little outing today. But you see how this little pick just breaks up the material and saves you a lot of digging. And
How did you select that particular little spot? Any intuition you used? Or?
yes, it's behind these boulders, and if the water was coming down here, it would kind of slow down and go underneath the rock. When it would drop, your gold would be protected from it. Just like these crevices here. If gravels and water and everything are rushing over the top of this, it'll deposit gold in these things and it can't escape because it's caught in there then. And this is what you do when you're talking about crevicing. You're getting in these little holes like this, or you're working between, like here's a good example. You're working between little areas here, and this is a crevice. So when you take this material out, you just loosen it up and you would go in. If it's big enough, you'd use something like this. If not, you would go in here. Like this is pretty clean right in here. We've cleaned that out before. But you just go in and scoop out just a little material like this, and then you put it in your pan, and then pan that. But when you're out on a river or a creek or something, if you just see sand or the gold mica floating on top, that's not gold. It's just the color of gold. And if you wave your hand just slightly, you'll see that it all floats away, and gold won't do that. Gold will always be closer down in the gravels, the heavier rocks, down by bedrock. Because it is so heavy, it just naturally sinks down.
Okay, so what's that phase there?
Right here, I'm just washing it, and the gold is heavier than anything else in the pan, so it's going to have a tendency to drop.
Loose from the dirt and gravel that's in there so that it will sink to the bottom of the pan.
Now, how long does it take to work a pan that size? Would you
It depends on the person. Like I can do a pan like that in probably 2-3 minutes. And when you're learning, it probably takes 15 minutes or more to do a pan. It took me 2
I
hours.
think so.
Always want to look at the quartz.
Okay, so what sort of technique are you using there?
I'm just pulling out the bigger rock. I want to get the big stuff out so I can get down in here and
And I noticed you're kind of sloshing the water over those ridges.
right.
What does that do?
The gold's going to catch behind the ridges, and because it's heavy, and it's going to stay there. So I want to take my lighter material off. Eventually getting down to my black sands, and then do a reading.
A little bit of flour gold.
Yeah.
See, but we were fairly close to the top yet when we took that.
There is one little flake of flour gold there, so that you're in the area if you find one flake.
Let's take another pan. How much is it?
Actually, I came up with two.
So that tells you you're in the area, as you say.
In the area.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to look a little further, investigate a little bit further if you're coming up with a flake.
Is there any kind of almost like a sampling technique you can do to home
That
in?
what you just saw.
That's what we
That's
would be
what you
doing.
that's what you just saw.
That's a sample.
I came to an area, I saw different rock that told me it would be a good location. I did a test by taking some material out of an area where I feel the gold would get trapped, and I pan it, and that's a test.
Okay, and then how do you put together a bunch of tests to make a conclusion? What, in other words, is there a procedure you're
Yeah.
following? Or?
Yeah, you would dig several holes and you would see where if you're looking for a pay streak, what you do is you dig several holes, like you dig one over there, and you dig one here where I am, and you might dig one over there. Pretend this is a big river or something. Because in this gulch, pretty much any place in here, it's going to be trapped. It will act like a natural sluice box because of the way the rocks lay. But if you're on a creek or something, you find gold here and you don't find any here, then you'll dig a couple more holes, and you just kind of keep track of what you're finding. And then where you find a couple places where you're bearing, you'd want to work like in between those for probably your pay streak.
Pastry, did you say?
A pay streak. That would be where the gold is traveling
pay
out
streak.
out of the mountain and down the stream.
Okay, so it's pay
streak.
streak. Okay.
Correct.
I love this stream. It's just incredible.
Yeah. There's lots of them. The old gold miners, they always found them, but they never knew where they led. They just kept going and going.
Sure.
Unless you want to watch my pan. I had more clay in here because I'm lower. Quite often you'll see clay like this, and you really have to break it up pretty good because gold will roll right out of your pan in the clay. You'll pick it up and take it out if you don't break it up real good. And you just want to shake it real good to make sure that's down there. And then wash the lighter material off. When you hear people talking about water washed rocks and stuff, they're talking about these smooth rocks And stuff like this where you can just see the water has just been over them and over them. That's the difference, yeah.
That's the difference right there. This is a smooth rock that's been washed through the river for...
I don't know how much I've got
Yeah.
right here.
Well, we've got a nice nugget here, and you'll see the gold is getting bigger and coarser. See here? We're getting bigger pieces now. On the top, we just had the flour gold, but now that I'm down in the hole, we're finding nicer things. And this is a little nugget. When you put your finger on it, you can feel it roll around in there. So that's what we're after.
That's spectacular, I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely wakes you up when you see it.
Can you hold that in the palm of your hand?
A dirty hand?
That's what you want to hold.
Yeah.
Nice piece. You can see it's been washed a long way, or a long time, one or the other.
It's smooth and rounded.
Yeah.
Not as coarse as the gold we looked at earlier.
But then we've got this other stuff in here, which is nice gold. We find quite a bit of like rice, oatmeal and stuff in this particular area. But this is one of the few areas that hasn't been worked. At the time when they were mining the Balaclava claim, they were getting an ounce of gold for every 6 ore cars that they processed. And I asked a friend of mine who had a mine similar to that, how many ore cars he could process. And he said that he could process probably 50 a day without pushing it. And that's a lot of gold.
It's real mean on the body. So you want to stay away from those plants right there. And that's a very good indication that there's a lot of poison oak in this area. What we're referring to are the 3-leafed plants. And in the beginning of the season, they turn red.
And John is touching them.
And I'm touching it, and I'm going to chase you up the mountain.
No way.
And then in the fall, also, they will turn red. The middle of summer, they stay green. They're very oily, shiny, and that oil is what really gets you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. There's 40 acres in here, which consisted of the Balaclava claim, and they were getting an ounce of gold for every 6 ore cars they processed, which was very good because a person could probably process about 50 of them without pushing it. And
A day.
up here, you see the top of that mountain there, and it comes down. That is a huge open pit hydraulic mine. The one down here was, the Balaclava claim was patented in 1888, and the ones up here was, I believe, 1902. And what I suspect happened was that while this was being processed down here, other prospectors happened to come across walking up here or something and noticed part of the channel sticking out and started mining up here and filed a claim. And that's called the Glory Hole, and there's still gold up there. And you can see the channel in there on certain areas of the bank. And then later on, where we'll take you a little later, along this mountain, they put several drifts in. And there's 2 real nice mines up on the Fairview claim. And they're along this ridge, but they were patented after this one. So first came the Balaclava, which was pretty well worked out by everything that's visible. And then when they issued I forget what year that is, I have it written down, where they made mining a non-essential item, and they ordered closing down of all of the mining.
Okay.
Oh, okay, here's a tailing pile. And this is a lot of what some miners work, but this is mainly the bigger tailings. The smaller stuff has been washed down into Maloney's. A lot of these rocks here are quartz. You can see here where it's broke open. Now the prospectors at that time, the only way that they could, or miners, the only way that they could determine if there's gold in there was to crack them open and crush them. But with a metal detector, you can pick that up.
And
And by
today,
the way, prospecting is the art of finding gold. And any other type, panning, using a sluice box, a dredge, or anything like that is mining gold. A pan is used basically for the purpose of finding out where the gold is, and then you will pick a faster means of mining it because you want to run as much material as quickly as you can to make it more profitable. Now this bank here is all tailings also. This whole bank, this tailing pile.
Been covered up with dirt and debris through the years. Rain, winds.
Oh, there's water in here.
All right.
How neat. Well, since there's water in there, I'm not going to take you over and show you where that gravel channel is I uncovered. But see the mountain way behind there, the top of that mountain. In the 1800s, this is what they were mining. They would have noticed right from here is a lot of these here water-washed rocks and things like this, indicating that the channel was here. And then they would have worked into here. And as they found out, it was very profitable because 3 4-ounce nuggets were not uncommon at the time they were mining this. So what they did was they hydrauliced it and then dredged it. And that's what I've been told. But with the hydraulicing, they're taking a big hose filled with water under pressure, washing the material from the side of the mountain down. And as it comes down, they would process that material and run it off, and that would be containing their gold. They probably cleaned up, they used long toms, which are like huge sluice boxes, sometimes containing 3, 4 sections. And in those sections, each man would be shoveling into it. And then the area that he was shoveling into would be the area that he would clean up.
is hydraulic mining still going on today?
No, it's illegal.
Remember the date on that one? I don't. I was just at Make Left Diggings too.
No, because it's illegal because it's washing away too much of the countryside. And you're filling up streams and things that just
Dams,
isn't
natural
done.
dams form, and then you
Yeah.
get a huge washout and floods down below.
Too much erosion.
Cause a lot of erosion and problems such as that, and the people just weren't putting up with it anymore, so they decided to put a stop to it. Government stepped in and shut it off.
Okay.
And-
If I were to just go out on a stream with a hose, would I be breaking the law?
That's basically called hydraulic mining, and it's against the law.
Okay.
And they just ground sluiced it, in other words, using a long tom or a sluice box, just shovel the material in there and throw the bigger rocks on piles. This water was brought in from Murphy's. There are ditches along that upper mountain right up here that are still in place, and you can see them over here where they brought the water in for the big hydraulic mine we were at. And there was a flume up above in the saddle that took it across the area where we couldn't just continue. Where, when, you know, they had their bean cans or whiskey bottles or whatever, they would go just thrown off in here somewhere. And here's the mine. You see how close we are to the top of the the dirt right in here at this level. Some of this we've started digging out. It's going to be shored up. But this upper part here where John is standing, there's about a foot, 2 feet of material that has caved down because it was so wet this year, right in the front here. And we will remove that, and then we will be shoring it up. And
If you can get a shot of this. It just crumbles very easily. And
That's
that's why we always say, be very careful and don't go by yourself.
And up here you can see part of this is decomposed rock, but then right here you're on the topsoil. And a lot of that was the compost and leaves and stuff. It's not real sturdy. Although it's very pretty to see the moss, and then you see little ferns and stuff growing all over in here. It's a beautiful area. We didn't bring flashlights.
No, we didn't.
Where was your thinking?
I didn't think he had a light for his camera, and it wouldn't really prove.
Well, we can't see nothing down there hardly without
Well,
it.
I thought you just wanted to see the entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to show him the actual channel down in there.
Oh. And they dug these with picks.
You can see the pit.
A lot of.
If you go down a little bit more.
Well, you can see them right here.
Yeah, but you have to get a shot right at him.
These are all different pick marks. And you can see how the layer, this is one type of material, and right here it becomes another type of material. The differences. And as you go down further, you run into layers and layers and layers of different material. And the idea was to get down to the bottom and find the channel. If you found the old channel, you came out of here singing a pretty good song.
A lot of this is sandstone. And you get further down and you hit limestone.
I kind of thought we were going to go down and get flashlights when we charge the batteries. And we could, I don't know, we have enough time to do that?
Well, probably. I don't know what time is it.
It is. Okay.
Okay. Right here is what we have. Let's focus more this direction. See, the balaclava claim is over in there where we've seen all the tailings. So right here, this was a homestead, so we did a test hole here to see if this ancient cataract channel runs through here. Now, the channel that we're talking about is an old river stream from the time when, probably ancient times, at the time when there was volcanic action and stuff in this area. And we've taken off what is known as the overburden with a backhoe. That's the red clay up on top. And then right below here, you'll see the channel itself. This is lava rock, and right below this, you'll see a lot of water washed rocks, similar to these types of things, are all what's found right in here. Now this is the main area that is holding the gold. Where we're finding the gold is through this grayish, greenish. If you focus right over there, you can kind of see that area. Right from below his shovel down to there is what is holding the gold. It's the bottom, of course, would be probably holding the better gold, because gold being heavy is going to sink to the bottom. And remember, this was a river stream at one time. So in order to work this, we have to do it the same way that they did back in the 1800s. We have to pump water down here for us to be able to test and see what we come up with.
About millions of years. Took
What-
that long
And by
to
the
build
way, we will not leave this open or leave tailing piles like they did back in the 1800s. What we're doing is we're going to open this up here, and as we work out, we're going to be putting the material back there. So, and we will put the overburden back on top of it, so it'll be like it was never touched.
Now, how do you know this is old river as opposed to new river?
Because there's no water currently flowing through here, and it's shown on the ancient channel maps. If this was a new river, it'd be like on the other side of the Stanislaus, and you'd have water running in it. Plus, the rivers now run east to west, and these rivers ran north to south.
That's interesting. What caused them to change their direction?
The upheaval of the land and just the
when the mountains
ice
were formed.
age, when the mountains were formed, the heat, everything that generated and caused them to lift up. That's why you'll see part of that channel 200-300 feet higher back there than it is here. And you knew that this was flowing down that way, so it doesn't make sense that it's 200 feet higher. But this was all lifted up at one time. Actually, this whole ranch was underwater at one time.
Still, the pick is a useful instrument.
Absolutely.
It's very,
You can't do it any other way. They were smart in those days.
now to make this easier to work, we soak it before we work it. Otherwise, it's very difficult because there's a lot of clay in the material. How's my little guy? Huh? How are you, baby? Come here. Come here, sweetheart. Listen. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, here's nice kisses. Oh. How you doing, boy? Huh? Want a treat today? Yeah, I'll give you a treat today and brush you out.
Where did it hook here on the ring?
I think so. It'd be like four of these in a row.
In the end.
And each miner would be shoveling his in to an area like right here where you see this gravel, shoveling their stuff in here. The water would be washing over here, washing the lighter gravels and stuff off, and your gold would be caught underneath these screens.
What'd they call that again?
A tom, long tom.
Long time. Some of them stretched for a mile. They'd go clean around a mountain. They'd have hundreds and thousands of people shoveling. And then there's always a guy at the bottom shoveling out the leftovers. Yeah. Back up, girl.
Okay,
You want to get in the picture with me?
I'll just start it rolling and we can work our way up to it.
Okay.
So we're rolling now, so
Okay.
anything we want to... You can just recap what we did and then see how that
Okay.
finishes it, or recap what you were saying in there, either way. So,
Well,
What you say?
basically, what we've done is just barely touched the tip of the iceberg here. We've covered very quickly just a general view of the area and how it's scaped and what to look for as you're traveling through these hills. I'd like to say that if anybody is welcome to come up to Jensen's Pick and Shovel Ranch at any time, and we will give them a tour of the area, and they...
Cut.
Cut.
okay. So,
We're not open yet.
Oh, we're not open yet. Okay.
well, but, you know,
Can you rewind that one?
yep.
Okay.
When do you think you'll be open?
Well, I'm hoping in about, I had hoped to be open last year this time, but we're just having a few difficulties getting permit from the state and stuff, which has detained us.
Okay.
I hope to be open yet this year.
Well, I'm thinking by the time this comes out.
Yeah, it
Oh.
takes a long time.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think by the summer you'll be open?
I'm hoping to be open this summer.
Okay. You can always just say, give us a, here's our phone number, give us a call. When they call, they'll find out if you're open or not.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll be opening soon in a theater near you.
So that's fine what you said. Just tack on, the phone number or something.
I
Give
don't
us a
want
call
anybody
before you
from
come
the
up.
county or something to get a hold of it and think
That we're publishing
that we're
the
going
fact that
down
we're
in
open.
mines and stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay, then how would you like to phrase it? Just say,
Well, basically that we welcome all of them to come up here. Or am I on?
yeah,
Well, then let me start over.
okay.
As John said, this is just the tip. We teach more on the panning and the basics of prospecting. And there's many things that you look for and a lot of clues. We'd like to invite any of you that would like to come up. We'd be happy to teach you, and we take you to places where you can go on your own. Also, I'm sorry, this thing is just...
That's okay. It's all going to get cut together, so take a little break and keep rolling.
We don't want to tell them who we are?
Yeah, we already did in the beginning.
Okay, well, we want to remind them.
But we would want to remind them, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to say it 3 times, and I'll pick the one that's, works the best.
Okay.
Why don't you go for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mind is just fuzzy.
Well, now I'm trying to think of how I'm going to
That's
phrase
how I
this
get
and,
after a
be
while.
careful here.
What is it you have to offer?
We are
Right
Jensen's
away.
Pick and
Okay.
Shovel, and we have to offer the teachings of what the prospectors did years ago.
Well, let's just say it like we've got it on our pamphlet. We teach the art of prospecting, panning, and mining. And we're more than happy to share it with anybody who wants to come up, and be happy to take you on a trip or teach you just an hour of panning, whatever you prefer. We customize our trips to the customer's desires.
Okay. That
We
sounds
do
good.
group trips. Tell them about group trips and stuff.
We offer group trips where we can take people down for a day, take them for as long as a week. They can learn all day long how to run a sluice box and learn to pan, or they can go for a week and learn how to actually dredge a river. It's all basically up to the person what they have in mind as a modern day miner. We also have helicopter trips where we will take you into areas where you cannot get to any other way, and they drop us off for a week, and we'll dredge those areas as well, teaching you how to prospect from level 1 to the top.
And for groups that are interested in river rafting, we also work with rafting companies, and we will go down and take a break during their rafting and help teach them how to prospect on the river. It's mainly learning panning, but it gives them a general feel for what that's like.